In 1971, during the height of nuclear tensions, Henry Kissinger sat across from Chinese Premier Zhou Enlai in Beijing. For 40 minutes, Kissinger presented America's complex position on international relations. Zhou Enlai listened without a single word, without a single change in expression. Unnerved by the silence, Kissinger kept talking, revealing more and more of America's strategy. When Zhou finally spoke, he didn't need to negotiate. Kissinger had already given him everything. Silence isn't emptiness. It's a weapon. The person who speaks first loses. The one who reveals the most loses everything. Welcome to the art of calculated silence, Machiavelli's most powerful strategy that no one is teaching you. This isn't about being quiet. It's about making others fill your silence with their secrets. By the end of this video, you'll understand how to use strategic silence to gain information, power, and respect that talking could never get you. And once you master this, you'll never be manipulated again. Let me tell you about Alex. Alex was in a salary negotiation for a job he desperately wanted. The interviewer offered $85,000. Alex had practiced his counteroffer speech for days, but instead of launching into it, he remembered one piece of advice. When they give you a number, say nothing. Just look at them and wait. So Alex did something extraordinarily difficult. He simply nodded slightly and remained completely silent. The silence stretched for 7 seconds. 8, 9. Finally, the interviewer broke. Well, we might be able to do $95,000 actually, given your experience. Alex still said nothing. After another excruciating silence, the interviewer added, and an extra week of vacation, all without Alex saying a single word. This is what Machiavelli understood centuries ago. Humans are uncomfortable with silence. We rush to fill it, and in that rush, we give away power. The first rule of strategic silence: create a power vacuum that others will desperately fill. Imagine two people in a room. One keeps talking, explaining, justifying. The other watches, listens, reveals nothing. Who appears more powerful? Who's giving away information? Who's collecting it? When I started my first business negotiation, I made a critical error. The potential partner asked, "What's your bottom line here?" I immediately told him my minimum acceptable deal. I thought I was being transparent and building trust. Instead, I gave away my position and lost $50,000 in that single moment. The next time, I applied the silence strategy. When asked the same question, I simply looked at them thoughtfully and said, "I'm interested in hearing what you think is fair first." Then silence. Complete silence. They eventually laid out their entire position, budget, and constraints. I now had all the information while giving away nothing. That negotiation ended with a deal 40% higher than I would have initially accepted. The human tongue is a beast that few can master. It strains constantly to break out of its cage. That wasn't just philosophical musing from ancient wisdom. That was a tactical warning. Every word you speak is information someone can use against you. Every silence you maintain is power you keep. Have you ever noticed that the most powerful person in a meeting is rarely the one doing all the talking? Watch any high-level corporate meeting. The CEO often speaks the least. They ask one pointed question, then lean back and observe who jumps to answer, who stays quiet, who looks to others before speaking. In those moments of observation, they're collecting data points that others freely give away. During the Cuban Missile Crisis, John F. Kennedy was presented with conflicting advice from his military advisors and diplomats. Rather than immediately jumping to decisions, Kennedy employed what historians now call deliberate silence. He would ask a question, then remain quiet long after someone finished speaking. Uncomfortable with the silence, advisors would elaborate, often contradicting their original positions or revealing hidden motives. This strategy revealed crucial information that helped prevent nuclear war. The second rule of strategic silence: be the strategic observer, not the eager contributor. When you speak less, 3 things happen. 1. Your words carry more weight. 2. You collect more information than you give. 3. Others reveal their positions, priorities, and weaknesses. Next time you're in a negotiation or important discussion, Ask one clear question, maintain comfortable eye contact, lean back slightly, nod occasionally to encourage them to continue. Stay silent for at least 5 seconds after they finish. Watch as they fill your silence with additional information, better offers, or revealing insecurities. Remember, the first person to speak after a silence is unconsciously submitting to the pressure you've created. Use this pressure strategically. Always say less than necessary. This Machiavellian principle isn't about being mysterious for its own sake. The third rule of strategic silence: know your silence breakpoint and learn to extend it. This is a trainable skill, not a fixed trait. When I first started practicing strategic silence, I could barely maintain it for 4 seconds before feeling compelled to speak. I began practicing daily, first with friends in casual conversation, then in professional settings. I would ask a question, then silently count in my head, pushing myself to stay quiet just a few seconds longer each time. Within a month, I could comfortably maintain silence for 15 to 20 seconds, far beyond most people's breakpoint. The results were immediate and dramatic. I started winning negotiations I previously would have lost. People began revealing information they never intended to share. Here's how you can extend your silence breakpoint. 1. Start with low-stakes conversations. 2. Ask a question, then silently count seconds. Set a target of 2 seconds beyond your comfort zone. Practice maintaining relaxed body language during silence. Notice the valuable information you receive when others break first. This isn't about being awkward or creating discomfort for its own sake. Strategic silence is about creating space where truth emerges. When people fill silence, they often tell you what they're really thinking, not just what they plan to say. That's when masks drop and reality appears. There's a reason we associate silence with power. Supreme Court justices, military commanders, master strategists. They all understand that excessive talking diminishes authority. When Muhammad Ali was at the height of his boxing career, an interviewer asked him to recite a poem. Ali replied, "Me, we, just 2 words." Then silence. It was considered one of the shortest and most profound poems ever delivered. Ali understood that authority doesn't come from explaining yourself. It comes from forcing others to contemplate your words. The 4th rule of strategic silence: use minimal words for maximum impact. When you do speak after strategic silence, your words carry immense weight. Don't waste this power on unnecessary elaboration. Remove qualifiers from your speech. I think, maybe, in my opinion. Eliminate justifications and explanations unless specifically requested. Make declarative statements rather than seeking validation. After making your point, return to silence. Resist the urge to fill silence with jokes, backtracking, or softening. Weak. I think maybe we should consider possibly going with the second option, because it seems like it might be better for our timeline, if that makes sense to everyone. Strong. The second option meets our timeline, then silence. Notice how the second approach forces others to respond to your position, rather than giving them multiple points to pick apart or disagree with. This is silent authority in action. Strategic silence isn't just a negotiation tactic. It's a life philosophy that puts you in control of information flow in every interaction. Let's review the 5 rules of Machiavellian silence. 1. Create a power vacuum that others rush to fill. 2. Be the strategic observer, not the eager contributor. 3. Maintain information asymmetry at all times. 4. Know and extend your silence breakpoint. 5. Use minimal words for maximum impact. The Chinese negotiator I mentioned at the beginning, Zhou Enlai, was once asked about the impact of the French Revolution. His famous reply, "It's too soon to tell." Yet, historians and diplomats have discussed and analyzed this response for decades. That's the power of strategic silence combined with minimal, carefully chosen words. It creates an impact that endless talking never could. In a world where everyone is desperate to be heard, be the one who listens.